How you doing, people? Hope you're all well. So I have been off for a little while, but I'm making this video because, well, I suppose to start off with, this little guy here, which is IS-2 1945. I mean, not much to look at, you know. I'm not a massive lover of Russian tanks in general, really. There's a few that I really like. You know, they're either really good or kind of so-so. And, you know, tier 7 is, I don't know, it's kind of a nice tier, isn't it? Just to go out and, you know, have a smash about, crash some metal. But one of the other things that I wanted to talk about was I got a little bit dismayed. Well, probably it started out last night, but this afternoon as well. What I tend to do is I've got some boxes, and you know, various boxes that I've, you know, spent a little bit of money on. Not a lot of money, just little bits, you know, $4.99 here, 99p here. And what I tend to do is, if I have a battle where I win and I survive, I'll open a box, like a little treat, you know. And then if, you know, if I don't survive but I'm top 2 and we win, I'll open a box. But I've been doing that recently, and it's just, you know, you have a good game and you think, oh yeah, I'll go and open a box, and they're just so like, that's kind of like, just not really, you know. There's a little bit of resources in there, maybe a ×4. Yeah, just nothing really exciting, to be fair. So I just got a little bit annoyed by this. So I thought, well, bugger this then. I'll just open a load of boxes. Yeah, maybe there's nothing in any of these boxes. That's the kind of mood I was in at the time. So I must have had about, I don't know, I would say, I don't know the exact, and obviously I don't know what each boxes were, because obviously some of them are, you know, more effective or have, you know, more chance of getting something out of them than others. But I must have had about like 50 boxes or something like that, yeah. So, I mean, I suppose the only thing I have to say is I have to eat my words. I was like, there's no tanks in any of these boxes. Ain't tanks in here. Kind of got to eat my words there. Now, I don't know whether there's something going on, whether this is an error. I don't know. But I'll give you a list of the tanks that I got out of those boxes, and it is pretty phenomenal, yeah. And some of these I really wanted, and yeah, they're not in any order. And there's a couple in there that are there's a couple of tech tree. So while I'm doing this, I'm also doing some tech tree stuff. So it kind of like, you know, wrapped up where I've just got, you know, a crazy amount of new tanks. So this is the list out of all these boxes: a Cobra, an LT432, a G-Saw, which I had in the restoration garage, but obviously I got it back out, an AT-15A, a Chieftain, a Luke's, which I've had a couple of times and got rid of. Get this: an Object 7772, an Object 907, a K91, an Object 452K, a T28 Defender, an IS-2 1945, which is what we're looking at the moment on the screen, a Skoda T45, and a PZ5/4. I mean, the last one I got was a Cobra, and the one before that was an LT432, which I really wanted. And both of those I was a bit gutted I didn't buy them in the auction, because I didn't really know what I was doing in the auction. You know, as I say, I learnt a lot in the auction. But what an incredible amount of tanks! Like, and then on top of that, I've you know, I just finally opened up the tech tree. It's like the tier 10 light tank, German light tank, which is a RIM PZW. I'm not exactly how to pronounce the entire name. And you know, just before that, I'd opened the Leopard 1, which I've been looking for because I really like, You know, I like the RU. I think everyone likes the RU. I bought the Hawk 30. You know, the Hawk 12 was a bit of a struggle. Like I find with the tech tree is, you know, you open up a new tank and you give it some love, and you know, you eventually put the equipment in and the ammo and the provisions, and you get that all tweaked right, and then, you know, it's a bit of a struggle, and then, you know, by the time you've actually got the XP you need to get to the next tank, you're actually firing on all cylinders on that tank, and you're like, yeah, like, you know, and now it's time to sort of not dump it, but like, you know, I mean, obviously the RU I've come back to time and time again, but it'd be nice if wargaming could work on that, you know, that kind of like aspect of, you're now really into this tank, you know, you've got it just how you want it, you know how to play it, and then all of a sudden, you know, you've got a new tank and it all starts over again. And but yeah, so it's really, the video is just about that, you know, just how, you know, the incredible amount of tanks I got out of these boxes when I was, you know, getting very dismayed in what you get out of these boxes. And then surprisingly, because I look at this tank and I think, whatever, you know, I've got all these other tanks. And yeah, so I thought I'd just maybe finish off with just a replay of a game I just played. I won't spoil the ending, but I've played this tank a few times now, and I really like it. I'm quite surprised about that, to be honest with you. Let me just turn this down a bit because you're not going to be able to hear me.
Roll out.
So we're on New Bay. Now remember, I don't have any equipment on this tank. I just literally took it out. I have put some heat in there, you know, just twiddled about with the ammo just so that you've got a bit of ammo to shoot, but that's it. And then obviously the you know, the bits and pieces they give you in terms of adrenaline, speed. Oh, actually no, I changed the speed over to the free one, just because obviously when you get that amount of tanks, what do you need? You need silver, and you need a hell of a lot of it, and it's not that easy to find. So now it's just all work, you know. I mean, can you believe all those tanks? Can you believe it? Like, if you went and bought those tanks, they would come with the equipment. You know, they often come with the camos and, you know, legendary camos, and then the equipment as well. But when you get them like this out of the boxes or on the auction, you don't get any of that. So, you know, you have to work through it. But, you know, it's all good fun. So yeah, like, you know, it's an incredibly punchy tank. Obviously you've got 14 seconds of reload, but for tier 7, you know, you get sort of a 450 alpha, and it really does punch through most things. As I say, I've only played it a few times, but yeah, I found it to be a fun tank. You know, my thing is light tanks. I like running around, and that's why I was really happy about getting the LT, because that is actually my next. That's my go-to. My next go-to is to get the LT 100, because that's right up my street. So yeah, already taken out one tank. Got another one coming up here, and this is actually the same tank but shielded. Well, in name anyway. I have also got this in the restoration garage. So, you know, we're already on 1,400. Look, there's another one goes down. This gets a little bit tight, so I've got the shielded coming up to me again, but bouncy, bouncy. Look at that, 400 bounce. And I've got the tiger that hits me. Starting to get a bit stressful because I'm on my Jack Jones here. Someone's giving me a call in that building over there. I do actually quite like that. Yeah, so I take a hit in that tiger, and that front panel's really difficult for some reason to penetrate. And here he is again. Look, I mean, just great bouncing on that. Look at those, like, the blocks are great. Take out the tiger. Matey boy will not stop ringing me. It is the same tank, isn't it? It's just shielded, which means like HE doesn't hit it very well. I'm now on 2,700, which is pretty cool for a tier 7 tank, you know. Take out another one. I'm on 3,146. And that's it. It's just me and this other guy. Now, I thought he was around the corner, so I was like, yeah, boom, all over. But not quite. He's down there, and I didn't quite catch this just in time. I swing my aim around, and yeah, just wasn't quite quick enough. So I still really enjoyed the game. It was a great game, and not only that, look, you can see that it brings in a fair amount of dough as well. You know, I was quite surprised at how much dough that thing brings in. So anyway, yeah, just a video really about how made up I am about what 16 new tanks that I've got. You know, coming from a position where I thought, these boxes ain't got nothing in them. You know, I'm going to do another video after this, just to talk about, you know, some of those tanks and just some of the tanks that I've got in the sort of 6 to 7 months that I've been playing. So, you know, love you all. Keep up all the good work, and you know, hasta luego, baby.